But for today, game dev. So where are we at? Let's take a look at the project. So I've been doing various things with the project. It looks basically how it looked last time with my simple trees and the little guy, and we made some boxes for collecting scrap. And so the game itself looks like, actually, can we uncheck that and let's stop it and let's launch it as a separate window. There we go. So some new things. There's now a tech tree. This needs some work as well. But the idea being that you will be able to unlock technology. Escape should get us out of here, but it doesn't. We'll work on that at some point. Achievements. There's an achievement system now. It does actually respond to what you do in the game. Level select. There aren't any other levels besides the first one, so this is a lie. Yeah, it's an error. And then we can start the game. And yeah, things need work. I don't actually want, like, this animation has been broken for quite a while. We'll fix that at some point, but we can collect the scrap. Turn off my speaker. We need to make it so that different things have different sounds. But yeah, and then I can turn the camera around. So yeah, it's a good start, right? And then we can place obstacles like a tower defense game, right? Hey, look, we got an achievement. Place your first obstacle. Yeah. So it's almost like a game, but there's a lot to do still. The polished stuff we'll go back. We'll do things as we go, but obviously we can finish the level, and that takes us back here, and that's the game so far. So there's some things I want to, and then we have settings. All right, that kind of, and then we can see achievements. We unlocked a bunch of achievements just by doing things. Actually, that's weird. Unlocked the 20th. Was this unlocked before? Place 10 obstacles, and we placed 5. Okay, yeah. So one thing I decided to do, pathing algorithm. So this just uses the built-in nav mesh. There we go, 10 obstacles, and then we get the sound. Does that? Hold on. Oh yeah. It's good. It is coming through on stream. Okay, let's X out of this. So this uses the navigation region 3D node. I like how it's experimental, but it works. So, I mean, presumably under the hood, this uses A star? Is there a way for us to get to this? There we go. Navigation agent. Let's look at the Godot docs. So what I want to do right off the bat is we're going to do some testing of our audio setup, because I think like the volume control in the setting I don't know works right, and I think that's important. And then also performance of large numbers of zombie for pathing. Recall using A star for maze solvers years ago. Yeah, it's still a thing. Do I have? I don't have a tab for Godot. I used to have like the cheat sheet as a tab here, but that's fine. Let's see, Godot Pathfinding. Okay, that's 2D navigation. It's not what we want. We want 3D navigation. So Godot provides multiple objects, classes, and servers to facilitate grid-based or mesh-based navigation. So mesh-based. And pathfinding. So there is a star 3D object. So this is, it's recommended for if you have predefined positions where you want the pathfinding to go to. But we don't. In fact, we have this kind of not like the terrain isn't changeable, but you can place obstacles and it affects the pathfinding, right? So it needs to recalculate. So we're using navigation server 3D. Now, does it say it does not handle A star navigation from A star 3D? And there's a bit of functionality that this has that we ended up not using around avoidance. We might use that eventually, but we didn't. We didn't for what we have so far. Navigation agent is what the enemies have to be able to interact with the server. RVO collision avoidance, but we're not using that. So this was something, there was a comment on one of the VODs on YouTube asking about if you should not call, I think it was get next path position every physics frame. But the docs explicitly say to do that. Must be used once every physics frame to update the internal path logic. Now, just because the docs say it's true, that this is the way of doing it, doesn't necessarily mean that we should, or we must, or that is optimal. But we'll see. But I don't see anything that says how the algorithm for the pathfinding. So let's see, Godot navigation server 3D algorithm. AI overview says internal specific algorithm. The specific algorithm used internally is not explicitly documented. Okay, cool. Why not? It does things. So yeah, unknown. To answer your question, Brainless. Which doesn't exactly make me happy. It's like, I don't know. It does things. Oh, and it's a bot. Hello, bot. Goodbye, bot. Anyway, so let's do audio volume control tuning. What is the easiest way going to be to do this? We should maybe let's add a soundtrack, some music, some sound to the game. How do we do that? Let's see. So there's audio stream player. Plays an audio stream non-positionally. Yeah, for background music. At some point, I'll have to show this plugin that I had the Copilot make for me. But we'll come back to that. Right, so let's just create this, and this is going to be okay. Bus will be music. Okay. Stream will be a... it can be a playlist. Ooh, wraps a pool of audio streams with pitch and volume shifting. What does that do? Interesting. So this sounds like something we would have wanted for our audio, like our sound effects, to give them variation, because we just coded that to make that happen. Anyway, I don't want that for the music. We're gonna do... So there's audio stream synchronized. No. Interactive. No. This one's pretty fancy if I remember right. There's like transitions and logic and all sorts of things you can do. But we don't need that for this. Audio stream microphone. Audio stream generator. Audio stream with utilities for procedural sound generation is interesting. But we'll do playlist. And we'll shuffle, and then we just add streams. And so we add a... we can add an OGG or other media file. I think let's go find something on Open Game Art as kind of a placeholder. I just need something. Oh, of course I'm not logged in. I'm never logged in. One moment. And the login username and password don't play nicely with Proton Pass. So, all right, bring this back down here, and then did I have a metal? Why do I have a metal? Okay, cool. Collections. So I have a collection of all the things I've downloaded. Automatically generate a collection of downloads. Interesting. I definitely downloaded more things than that. My collections. I have 2 collections. That's inconvenient. Okay, well anyway, let's go look for some music we can use. So I will want CC0 music. And what's up with our music? It's very quiet. Oh, I see. It's a very quiet part. Okay, 1 second. I see. Let me pause Pretzel Rocks, because that sound is going to come through on the... Interesting. Ooh. That's interesting. I don't think that's really the vibe. How long is this? Yeah, I think this is something we can use as a placeholder. How about that? assets, audio, folder, music, save. All right, cool. And back to here, we will add battle theme A. And will this auto play? Playing, autoplay on. Do we need to set playing? Setting this property has the same effect as play, autoplay. If true, this node calls play when entering the tree. Seems good. And it's set to the music bus. So if we run this, I kind of would expect that oh yeah, so I think I do I want to how do I want to do this? So we have a main menu scene, and this is what this is the first scene that's loaded. So how do I want to do this? I think I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to duplicate it over here. Is that going to be good? Going to be okay? I think it's probably fine, especially if we have like a main menu soundtrack explicitly. Like, especially if it's not just one thing. When we switch scenes, it's unlikely to be like, oh, you're 5 seconds into this track and then you hear the same track again. Whatever. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Main thing is we have background music when the game starts. If we go to settings, then now what I'd like to happen is that this would live update. So presumably if I hit apply, yeah, we don't hear anything. Is that okay? Interesting. I don't hear anything at 50%. Okay, so our attenuation, if that's the right word, for this is not right, because like we can't hear the sound at all at 50%. So that's not right. And this is why I wanted to test this, because I had tried that with, I think, the master of the sound effects volume settings, and that didn't work. So does that code live? Maybe settings menu.gd. So we have signals. We say when these things change, connect to these functions. Here, hold on. Let's have some background sound. Okay. So what we're doing is we're using this utility function. So Copilot wrote this for me. It's going to convert the value, which is a float, presumably from 0 to 1. I don't know. How did these sliders work? One second. Close other tabs. Do we have like a key binding like Control P defined? Yeah. Settings? Yeah. to do that. Okay. Oh, interesting. So when we look at the music slider, oh, it's 0 to 100. It's 0 to 100 with a step of 1. Okay. Let's do that. So what does percentage to dB do? Okay, it converts from 0 to 100 to a decibel value. I suspect that's not what we want, right? So update volume labels is interesting. Okay. So temp music volume, what are we doing with that? We say settings manager.music volume equals this. So what do we do with this? So we claim that this is in decibel. Do I believe you? What are we doing with this event? Okay, so we set bus volume dB. Set the volume in decibels of the bus at index to volume dB. Interesting. Do we have other options here besides using decibel? So there's linear. Linear takes a... Oh, hey, look, there is a linear to dB function on the global scope. Linear to dB. What does this do? Converts from linear energy to decibels. Since volume is not normally linear, this can be used to implement volume sliders that behave as expected. So, from 0 to 1. So I think I'm going to change some things. I think what I'll do is we'll keep everything that's currently in decibels the same. We are going to replace this so whatever this is doing is probably just wrong. We can do linear to dB percentage. Do we really want to call it percentage? Sure. If we do, then we just want to divide this by 100, right? To get it between 0 and 1. We return. Is there a dB to linear function? Yes. Converts from decibels to linear energy. Audio. Okay. So do we think that will work? Seems like it. That seems like 20%. If I go down to like 1%. It's maybe too low. I see something in the, like it's not audible, but I thought I saw something in the volume readouts in OBS. And then if we go to 100%. Yay! So here's a question. Do we want to make it so that when we... Nice, that works too. Do we want to make it so that when I change the audio levels here, it affects the current audio setting? If we do that, then we have to make sure that the audio settings are restored when we leave this settings area. Okay, so when we hit cancel or apply, go to on, apply pressed, or on, cancel pressed, presumably. Those really should be next to each other. Much easier if we understand. If we can see them close to side by side. So if we apply, then we ignore this stuff. This is about if we're making video settings, we get like a confirm thing. Apply audio settings immediately, no confirmation needed. If we cancel, okay, I think to do this, we need to save previous audio settings for revert. And then when we set, except we need to do that when this UI loads. Like that. Okay. Seems good. And then when we cancel, we'll make a function here. We'll assume there will be an original audio settings function. Like so. Now, I'm assuming apply audio settings actually changes, yeah, the audio server. Great. Now, what we should be able to do is in the handlers for sliders, what we can do is we can change the, yep. Now, this bus name, I don't think we know the names of the buses in the scope of this. Go over to Settings Manager. I guess we just call apply audio settings. Settings Manager. Apply audio settings. Right, so whenever we change any of the sliders, we just immediately, so we update temp SFX volume. And then we need to do settings manager dot SFX volume equals the temp one. And this is why the cancel needed to be able to have the original value before we started changing things to put back when we cancel out. Now, like if you make the change temporarily and then you exit the game, like you kill the game, this won't actually save the change to master volume. Right, to do that, you have to call save settings, which we don't do here. So I think this might be good. So we can get interactive feedback, right? So like I can take this down to 0 and hit cancel, and it goes back. All right, I'm happy with that. Anything relevant in the debugger? Some signal stuff and unused parameters. That's fine. Let us commit all of this. You know, if I just actually assigned this to myself, then it would actually show up in the list. I'm just not used to doing that because it's not like anyone else is working on this project. All right, well, we're done with the music stuff, so I think I will get Pretzel Rocks going again. More of our normal vibe. All right, so test audio volume controls. And what did we change here? Sure. I mean, that's not really what we did. What we really did was we added... We'll do this as a few different commits. There you go. So added background music. And then... improve audio settings management with revert functionality in the settings menu. Yes. All right. Fix audio volume control issues and add PG music track initial. All right. Let's put that over there. And let's work on testing performance. Everyone's favorite thing to do, right? How are we gonna do this? I was thinking about this, and I think maybe the easiest thing to do is we're gonna create another level. Yeah, reload from disk. Is that what I wanted? I mean, we're gonna just edit the existing level. Yeah, I guess so. That's probably the easiest thing to do. Is just edit the existing level to change the spawner to that's not what I want to do. I want to double click on that. All right, behold, it's a level. Let's look at 3D view. There we go. Here's our level. And we have an enemy spawner, and it has a wave. And so what we want to do is we want to test with like 1,000 zombies. So to do this, we need to set max enemies to a very large number. And we will just change this to be this. Yeah, enemy types is just, we'll just use the basic zombie. We don't need to like mix multiple types into this. And we will we'll have 1,000. How's this gonna work? Oh yeah. Spawn interval 0.01. What is this gonna do? So theoretically, this should. What should this do? This should try to spawn 1,000 enemies. It will spawn an enemy every 100th of a second until there are 1,000. Which will take it much less than the duration of 100 seconds. And it will start immediately. And this will be something. That looks great. So, and then I added a new feature. If I press F3, we can see we're at 4 FPS. This might be too many zombies. We're still spawning them. We're only at 300. I think maybe the spawn delay is smaller than the like how small it can be, right? Because if it was really every 100th of a second, it wouldn't take this long. We're at about a third of the, 300, almost 400 zombies spawned, 3 FPS. Okay, so let's aim for maybe 100 zombies, or maybe like 200 zombies. And we'll go in and like turn on the profiling tools and stuff here in a second. There's not really a point until we can see, like, I want to get an idea of what's enough to kind of slow things down. So you can see FPS is dropping down there. Right, 15 FPS, 7, and we're at 200 zombies. So we're at like 6, 7 FPS. This poor guy. We can't actually... They're swimming on each other. They have enough zombies that they act like a fluid. Alright. So good. So I think this will be a good... What if we do 4x? It doesn't improve things. Alright. So I think that is a good test. If we go to the profiler, auto start, and then a thing that was pointed out to me in a tutorial I saw yesterday, pin bottom panel switching. So we'll just pin that. We'll switch over here and we'll say embed the game as well. Yes, good. Let's see what this looks like. So the profiler, what does it do? So the red line here is how much time we have per frame, and this line is how much time we are using per frame, right? So if this line goes above this line, then we are too slow. Let's start the game. So we see some spikes here initially. Let's turn on our FPS overview as well. So you can see we start really slowing down. And then it gets real bad. Okay, let's pause. So it's not, what's taking time? We're doing some things here. So if we look at a frame, what are we doing? So here we can see all of our scripts. So physics process is taking 123 milliseconds. What is the overall, like how tall is this spike? It's this, right? 154 milliseconds. Right. So this makes sense, right? So this the teal color here is because this is checked. So if we take this off, that goes away. And the physics frame time is how long we have to hit 60 FPS, which is 16.66 milliseconds. Repeating. And you can see all of our different scripts functions that get called. And they're all pretty small until we get to this one, which is the bulk of the time. All right, so if we get rid of that, we can just see, hey, that is what is slow. So this is in base enemy.gd physics process. So what's going on in the physics process of enemy.gd? It's probably exactly what that commenter on YouTube said, which is that doing navigation stuff, right, is slow. But we're gonna find out. Okay, so can I just... Oh, that's the wrong key combination. Control-Shift-P. Bold all. There we go. You know what I could do instead is if I have the sidebar over here, we can go to the outline. I could use this more. Here's physics process. In fact, let me unfold all. There we go. So, physics process is taking too long. But what specifically? So the theory is that calling get next path position is slow. So, there is a, is it measure? No, it's not measure. It's, what is it? Oh, probably monitor. So monitors is the other tab that I learned about yesterday, where we can do things like get a graph of the number of objects over time, which is really cool. But you can add custom ones here as well. So I think we can do this. Again, monitor. No, not monitor. Is it coffee time? Okay, well, let's go to the Godot docs because I can't remember. It's always coffee time. If only. There is unfortunately a limit to how much coffee I can have. Monitor? Custom performance monitor. That's what I'm looking for. Performance. Add custom monitor. This is what I'm looking for. So what we need to do is a couple of things to instrument this. So we want to say var start time. There's a proper way to do this. Performance. Yeah, you may choose to move the performance monitor registration and getter function to auto load instead. Yes, we could do that, But what we need to do is I want to monitor how long a section of code is taking. So what I want to do is capture the time before and after, subtract them, and put that into a value, and then have the monitor call a callback that reads that value. I think that is an appropriate way. Oh, maybe it is OS. Maybe git ticks msec. That doesn't even exist. Okay. Godot, measure time elapsed. Time. Is there a time module? There is. Hey, I've been here before. Git ticks msec returns the amount of time passed in milliseconds since the engine started. Or a usec, microseconds since the engine started. Yeah, so it's time. Right. Yeah, we're not going to trace that. What we're going to do is we are going to save that in a next path position duration usec. Doesn't really matter what it's called. We're not keeping it, just temporary. Okay, and then in ready, let's see. First of all, bit, yeah, return that, and then performance dot add custom monitor enemy slash. I mean, sure, but I don't care about that. Get rid of that, and then oh yeah, so we can. We have extra T. We don't need this function because we can just do an inline one. And what did Brainless say? Did you ever see Slam Dunk? I have seen a Slam Dunk, but is this a game? A movie? No, is probably the answer to that question. The anime? No. Slam Dunk. Animef? This one? Is you're watching it yesterday, bringing memories from the past. I have not watched a lot of like sports themed anime. I don't watch a lot of sports either, to be honest. You grew up watching it, sure. All right, shall we try this? Let's restart the game. Okay, so what we will see is that in our monitor, we have a new custom monitor. And we can see physics process time. So this is not working. It's going from 0 to 1. Or it is working because that line is not taking that long. That could also be true. Custom monitor already exists. Yeah, that's not gonna work, is it? Huh. Are you building the billions now? Basically, I just want to see how the system performs as there are more entities walking around. And so this is kind of stress testing. Just stress testing this. The problem is my monitor doesn't work because I'm doing this wrong. How should this work? How should this work? We need to do something. So we have this duration of how long this took. And are we... I guess we just trace it. Forget about using the monitor. We'll trace it. And because this isn't going to work because we need to aggregate over all the enemies and do a bunch of stuff, and that's not. In fact, debug. There we go, and then we'll get rid of the monitor stuff. And Twitch wants to run an ad, so we're going to take a brief pause here. And when we return, we'll find out, is this what is slow?